my people make you ladder.
Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
My people make we shout.
Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
Mayegun the command of the masses.
Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
Mayegun they are the political.
Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
This one not they off in mind.
Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh.
Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
My people make you shout.
Oh, yo, yo.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
I apologize for the late start. And also, I want to let you know that if we have any issue with the audio, please let me know. I'm testing out a new microphone. So, thank you. Can you hear me loud and clear? Martinelli. Iruk. And Banjo. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me this evening. Please share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today. The Bantueyos, the Korofos, the gang of crooks appointed by Tifnumbu, that a lot of you, or some of you, were expecting that they will kind of change the fortune of Nigeria. They will sink it, and you will watch them do it if you do nothing. Thank you very much. Cardoso says the Nigerian Naira is crashing because of the pressure from those of you paying school fees abroad, going for medicals abroad. Ajalata no. Thank you very much for that. Everyone saw the studio, right? I love the fact that you will see the studio as it is right now, and then when it becomes the real studio. Read the caption of this broadcast. Read the description of this broadcast as well. Share it. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. They might need this. Just tell them. Mayegun today. Thank you. What today? So, good morning to you once again, and good afternoon to you, as well as good evening to you. Top of the day to you, from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun live. And to every one of you who has sort of shared the broadcast, thank you. So this is the continuation of a reminder to every one of you who still nurses the hidden intention of rescuing Nigeria via what? Elections or I don't know what that means. You have a mind. This platform is to remind all of us that it is time for us to actually stop beating about or around the bush when it comes to the real problems of Nigeria and what the real solution should be. Our parents and their own parents and parents before them, I believe, majority of them dodged the bullet. They don't even want to have that conversation per se. This generation is also being conditioned to believe that nothing is going to change. Take it as it is, as well as live by what we say, not as we live. Now, sometimes somebody needs to cut the circle. And cutting the circle, I think should start with having the right information and never allow yourself to be railroaded into their agenda, because most of it, their agenda is not for you. It is for themselves. They just need a lot of you to validate them, like using religion, using tribe, ethnic, and all of that. But in reality, when you look at the consequences of the bad government, no one is actually spared. Whether you are a northerner or a southerner, it doesn't really matter. It will touch you. Whether you are an easterner or you are a westerner, everybody is feeling the bite. Now, couple that with insecurity, which is also as a result of a bad governance, bad government, corruption, incompetency, collusion, every other name you can find in the book that says that those who are supposed to keep us safe can't keep us safe. Rather, they opened shop on us. The economy that they were supposed to actually keep really better for the sake of all of us to avoid things like this, they have further depleted it, ruined and destroyed it. But they are very quick to point fingers. You know that. We do not need Tifnumbu's body. They only needed his brain. We can't say, okay, where the brain? If you say make we no look at body, shey this kind brain na the brain wey fit appoint any reasonable people other than chancers. This brain. Well, somebody said that they've not heard about the bat idiot. I am batified. I'm batified because they have now been ungafied. So this gaslighting never stops. I remember very well under Bokwari. You see, majority of those who are bastards today, the bat idiots, majority of them were also Buhari idiots too. They were cyberbarians too. And they were among those who were gaslighting people. They were pointing out the shortcomings, the failures, and the corruption that will later bite everyone in that country. There were those defending that too. There is no name they did not call all those who tried to call the attention to it. You know what I mean? So those are the people who kind of graduated to become bat idiots you see today. The bastards. And when I say gaslighting, I am talking about people that will leave the real culprits of what is really going on in Nigeria and begin to attack the victims. Unfortunately, hunger is nobody's friend. You can pretend, but it won't last. And that is why today, ladies and gentlemen, when people like Cardoso was appointed, they said, yes, the Lagos boys, the city boys. A lot of you that are today crying, tearing up, cursing, and in fact, threatening Tifnumbu, when Cardoso was appointed, you were a little bit elated, thinking they were coming. He was coming with something now, like a Mefiole. Baba, like a Mefiole. Your Cardoso, Cardi B, Abi Cardi O has been blaming just anything and everything but themselves. And that's the typical. No wonder some people don't they call him Oduduwa Emefiole. Me how they call him Kadio or Kadibi. But some are saying that you see Emefiole, Emefiole is what you go call him? The jaw I've been a Delta, nothing like Delta, by the way. So what will you call Emefiole again? Anyway, that is Kadio of Lagos. Now, within 6-7 months of appointing Kadio, Nigeria economy has taken even worse turns. Initially, they were telling people that, yeah, things are going to first be hard in the first 2-3 months, but don't worry. The policy of there is no policy other than to pick your pocket. Go and check everything they have been doing and saying. It's not different from that of Emefiole under Bukwari. That the bad idiots, the bad stars of today, defended at the time. But it can't be like say the type of hunger that is around today, is no longer bearable. You cannot pretend about it. Meanwhile, it is just the beginning. Somebody sent this to me, and somehow, a kind of break art, I have to say, right? I don't know if you have seen it all. But ma go check them. It's actually happened there. They said it happened in one market. And I believe it's somewhere in not sure.
Level 5,000 so ń jẹ mọ́ wàhálà máa ti dé. 2,200. Irú wàhálà wo wá lélé ìwọ lọ. Bros, sell out for me 2,000 now.
That is the last price. Accept if you are looking for 2,000.
Irú wàhálà wo lélé. Kí ni mo fẹ́ jẹ lálẹ́ yìí báyìí? 2,200 naira ráìsì. Irú wàhálà wo làwọn kọ́mẹ̀ntì àbáyọ̀ lọ. Irú wàhálà wo la kọ̀ báyìí? 2,200 naira ráìsì. Irú wàhálà wo la kọ̀ báyìí? Kí ni ìjọba ìwà ń ṣe fún wa báyìí wọ̀ lọ máa ṣàánú wa? 2,200 naira ráìsì. Ṣáà ní jẹun Nàìjíríà mọ́ ni. Èwo ni ìjọba bàbá yìí ṣe fún wa yọ náà máa ṣàánú wa. Ọ̀gá please now. Irú wàhálà olólè. Ìjọba bàbá Tinubu, ìjọba tí ó dára bá bẹ bàbá Tinubu yẹn ṣàánú wa. Wọ́n mi wá jọ 2,200 naira ráìsì. 2,000 ló wà lọ́wọ́ mi táwọn ọmọ mi fẹ́ fi jẹun lálẹ́ yẹn jẹ́ náà. Ẹ̀yin tá dìbò fún bàbá yẹn bá bẹ bàbá yìí. Ẹ̀yin tá dìbò fún bàbá yẹn bá wà bẹ. Ẹ̀yin tá dìbò fún bàbá yẹn bá wà bẹ ṣàánú wa. Ẹ bá wà bẹ bàbá yìí tá àdìjẹun Nàìjíríà mọ́ ni. Ebi ń pa wá ẹ ṣàánú wa. Okay, sell out for me, please. Ẹ ṣé mami, ẹ ṣé ma, ẹ ṣé tó ní sí iye o.
No, don't worry.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, sir.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand. the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not.
Chai! Wahala dey o.
I know some of you are saying it is skit. It is not skit. I know. Do you know how comfortable you must be to see that video and automatically something tells you it is acting? That is the privilege that you have that you don't think or never thought you have. You see that clip there? That is the reality of many. Yes. And there are those that will see that clip, and you know what that will bring to them? It's just sort of bring back something they never probably would share with anyone. But it is the reality. That bowl of rice is 2,600. I mean 2,800. It's more than 2,200. That guy will not come back there with 2,000 and start crying again. Nobody will listen to him. People are selling their children. People were arrested because they sold their children. And when they were questioned, come, why would you sell your child? Do you even know what they would do to that child? And all of that was like, well, I have 7 children. I have been sacked from my job. My wife's business no longer sustains us. So we agreed within the family to sell one and use the money to take care of the remaining 6. What kind of arrangement is that? How much did you collect? 1.4 million naira. And all of these things, you will hear those stories and you look at your own privilege. And sometimes they will sound unbelievable. Is that possible? When you feel like, is that even possible? That is the moment you should begin to review the privilege you have. If you are watching me from Nigeria and you also postulate that that was acting, you see that privilege you currently have. They are coming for it. Don't worry, it's all right. The criminals who are announcing different caterpillar policies that they have no clue of, most of them that came back as the same playbook of Emefiole under Bukwari. How many of you remember that time when Bukwari said, when Nigeria media reported that Bukwari has ordered the immediate reactivation of Nigeria economy in 2018? Go on Google and type in reactivate Nigeria economy. Buhari reactivates Nigeria economy. And go and check the headlines and check the news. 2018. This was demo. This was all kind of playbook they throw out. Then they pay people, influencers, they call them. I call them vuvuzelas. They pay them to go and explain that nonsense to you. And I think I am pretty much far better in analyzing their fraud to you than they even do themselves, because they would love to use all this big English, all these jargons to confuse you. Then you'll be like, okay, is that a good thing, Sha? All you are saying is that everything will be fine after all this policy. Yes, we expect everything to work out fine in the ratio, economic ratio, +1 + -1 + 2. Are we going to be able to afford to pay and buy food? Of course, some people will be able to, and some will catch up later. And I won't do that. I have made it so simple, so easy, so ordinary for many people that a lot of you possibly do not appreciate the amount of information that got broken into pieces for you here. Make so easy. If they tell you they are doing policy, oh, we have removed subsidy so that we can rejig the economy and all of that, and you ask them, where is the money you normally use for the subsidy? Where do you keep that? What do you use that for? What about the money from this or that? Where do you keep that? Where are you using that for? And when you begin to ask questions, those monies have developed wings. They flew away. So all they are saying is just talk, 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 talk. The real resources to use in pursuing them, they've shared them, frittered them away. Now you will be waiting. Okay, maybe dollar will come down next week. The food prices will begin to come down next month. And maybe, more, you will just keep there with maybe and maybe, and they will shock you with another one. Cardoso was at the National Assembly. They were asking him to come and defend what is wrong with the Naira, what is going on with the Naira, and all of that stuff. The guy came with a prepared speech, word for word. He read out all the jargons to the clowns, the criminal clowns called the National Assembly member in Nigeria, the Assembly of Thieves. Cardoso came. This one is not like somebody, an intelligent person, intelligent economist, discussing the state of the country with the people. No, he wasn't. Because when it comes to that, they will begin to say jargons, baggy, bongon, bongon. But he came with a prepared speech to come and tell the National Assembly members that the reason why Naira is crashing is because of the pressure of people schooling abroad. I beg, whose children school abroad mostly? My papa and my mama couldn't afford to send me abroad. Majority of you watching me here tonight, whether you are now abroad or not, majority of us here, our mama and papa couldn't afford to say they are sending us to Canada, we know the category of people that used to send their on a very steady. And we also know that your mama, my mama, your papa, I'm not saying everyone because some of you are privileged more than like, you know what I mean? Every time I will sit down here and we're like, man, if you know what people are going through, this country is so terrible. This country is so bad. We must fight for our life. We must. You will be say, now driver they take you go. I mean, a driver they carry you go school. Driver they pick you back. You have escorts. You have cook for house. When they say, I mean, you have to roll the what do you call the atlas map inside your daddy's office at home. Abi, you roll it just to choose a place to spend your next holiday. They say, hey, Uche, come here. You have done so well today. This time. Your teacher said you have done so well. You've made me proud. Where would you like to spend your holiday this time? Daddy, I don't like America. I don't like UK. It's too cold. All right, go there. Go to that's my atlas there. Yeah, roll it. Any country that comes to the center, that's where you spend your. You will say you they get privilege like that. All of us there now with the lament, and I'm not talking to you. Here you get now. I am talking to all of us who knows regularly that if our mama and papa sick, now the nearest chemist, if the thing too much to the point that they have to go to the hospital, all of us will begin to panic already. Hey, hospital, have you taken her to the chemist first? As nurse Dupe check that. You cannot just go to hospital like that, because we are very careful before we say we want to go and leave big man, check me, and all of that stuff. You know, the people like us, we don't go abroad for medical care. And if you see any of us abroad for medical care, now on public donation, you know, they see all this Kano Foundation. You know, they see all this post on social media. Save Tinuke's life. She needs new kidney in India. And then when they show you the picture of Tinuke, you'll be like, hey, she really make it to India by. Can she even make it to India? Are you sure this situation is redeemable? Yes, 22 million naira. People like us, if you see us for abroad, now donation they take send us there to go and change kidney or to go and change anything we shall make costly for another few months to join others, suffer for another few years. Last, at the end of the day, lack of what's they call that thing? Now dialysis, Abi, to take care of you and on. Nigeria frustration will eventually kill you. And in some cases, where they even raise the money publicly to send it to India to go and buy a new kidney, some family members will be like, see, now them go first cry, please save our daughter. Please save our son. It's the only thing we have in our life. Then you will raise the money. Nigerians have donated 30 million naira. Oh, yeah, go India now. You go on to hear other stories. Me, I'm just saying, if we go to India, we are not sure this operation will be successful. 32 million naira. If we take care of her here and, peacefully and, a time comes, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be, I've seen it before. The moment the money. So people like us know they go abroad for medical care. People are the very, they mad. But now we are going to be blamed that we are those who are demanding for dollars going for medical treatment abroad. And that's exactly what this guy told them, word for word. Ma, share what I'm feeling.
The exchange rate in Nigeria has increased or depreciated due to the simultaneous occurrence of two factors: a decline in the supply of US dollars coinciding with a surge in the demand for US dollars. Looking at the demand side of the exchange rate, it's important to note the growing number of Nigerian students studying abroad. In 1980s and 1990s, the need for US dollars for their living expenses was minimal. However, recent data shows a significant change. According to UNESCO's Institute of Statistics, the number of Nigerian students abroad increased from less than 15,000 in 1998 to over 71,000 in 2015. By 2018, the figure had reached 96,702 students as per the World Bank. Another report projects the number of Nigerian students studying abroad to exceed 100,000 by 2022. Additionally, the UK's Higher Education Statistics Agency noted a 64% increase in Nigerians studying in the country, rising from 1320 in 2019-2020 academic session to 21,305 by the 2020-2021 session. Given this data, it is crucial to highlight that between 2010 and 2020, foreign education expenses amounted to a substantial $28.65 billion, as per the CBN's publicly available balance of payments statistics. Similarly, medical treatment abroad has incurred around $11 billion in costs during the same period. Consequently, over the past decade, foreign exchange demand for education and healthcare has totaled nearly $40 billion. Notably, this amount surpasses the total current foreign exchange reserves of the CBN. Mitigating a significant portion of this demand could have resulted in a considerably stronger Naira today. On the supply side of the exchange rate, to bolster the inflow of US dollars into the exchange rate in Nigeria has increased.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Bank governor 1 year. That is their central bank governor. Somebody said that the audio is not good. Is that true? No, you tell me. Is it true that the audio is not good? Come on, I listened to it just there, and it sounds great. It sounds great. It might sound different to you. I understand why it might sound different to some of you. I've sort of added some, some what they told me, sophisticated equipment that are going to be used in the studio. So I have to test run them and make sure that they are doing the job. And I want to make sure that you are getting the value for your time. Audio work back. That's it. Google ni were low. All of you are there. He's reading it, Nisha. He's reading. Baba, I need Google lolo. he went there to tell them that the amount of internationals, a lot of people have jackpot, of course. But out of the people who jackpot, let us be honest, let's be honest too. How many people with jackpot, they call back Nigeria for money for upkeep, that they needed dollars and they needed pound sterling. And your families are buying dollars and sterlings for you from Nigeria. Raise up your hand. How many of you that jackpot from Nigeria? He had to go back to 1980s, 1990s. They did all the Googling for him. They put all the joint together. And then he came, he said, all of these, they've made it impossible for Nigeria to save enough dollars. That's the reason for all of that too. Because a lot of you are just asking for it, you are just taking it. Those are the economists that one Ashiri Agbadurian will tell me to shut up because that one is talking. Do you even understand how insulting it is? For those who are parading paper certificate, because that's what majority of you are parading in Nigeria. I don't know how you see yourself, so you know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. Majority of you are parading paper certificates. Do you know? Is that how you talk to a graduate? Is that how you talk to a PhD? Why are you shaking it? I'm talking to you. Do you know who you are talking about? You the mad, dini? PhD of what? What is PhD in what? Arabic study. Yeah, what do you call it? Islamic study. PhD in Kinekon one braggy. PhD in social study. PhD in engineering. I am a PhD holder. A doctorate Kinekon in philosophy. Last in call. How did that benefit Nigeria? Let us ask ourselves. All of now will be engineers. We can the ride Okada now. Some of you are fighting for promotion at some of these Indian, I mean they call them Indian Singapore factories as casual laborers, supervisor. You have a country that road you can build, bridges you can build. Structures, institutions that can actually lasted longer. You can't. The criminals that are running Nigeria don't believe in Nigeria, so they have to bring everybody from outside Nigeria to come and build Nigeria for you. Julius Baja is building your road. CC from China is building your bridges. Who is building your rail and all of that stuff? But you have all these engineers everywhere. Do you know who you are talking to? Do you Cardoso you are talking to like that, Mayegun? It's not your mate. Okay. His main job and his main area of expertise is economy. Abi? Oh yeah. Give him A for the way they have ruined Nigeria economy so far. Or quickly just give excuses for them. Then gaslight other people for it. Don't blame him. You cannot really blame him. Mayegun, let me tell you something. This country has a hand now. Abi? Don't blame him. Cardoso lost Google. Realize Nigeria have spent over 40 billion in 2 decades giving money to people who were going abroad to study. The more Nigeria became insecure, even people who have money, who don't need they don't need any PhD or any whatever nonsense anymore in their life. If Nigeria was okay to escape from the country that Ifnumbu of APC, Egbekegbe, and the rest of them forced and trapped them in. Majority are now say, I'm thinking of going to Germany to do my PhD. Give me PhD in what? Oh, Japa. Majority of those who left Nigeria don't go back and ask people to go and send them dollars, send me pounds, send me this. Not. That is why majority are leaving Nigeria with their entire family. I mean, that's the true story. And that is the real story. That is the current story. So where did Cardoso get his own figure from other than Google? There you too can get. But let him drop that nonsense he's reading from. Ask him the very, very vital question and all that. And then you begin to hear another gaslighting. Who are those? Kolu, waiting Kolu they spend in France right now, by the way. What do you think Kolu is spending in Nigeria, in France since he's been in France? Naira abi. Eh? Naira. Olórí ibu ló pọ̀jù nínú ẹ̀yin abọ́bakú yìí. Would you say it's Naira? And do you understand what it means to demand for forex, foreign exchange? They will blame you. All of Cardoso's children, they schooled abroad. All of his children, all of them. And I'm not sure if all of them are back in Nigeria. I'm not sure. But now that their papa is the central bank governor, of course, governor till the states that is controlling the resources or the money supposedly of the country. Yeah, maybe his children are back to Nigeria now to be part of the old bazaar. Cardoso has no plan to save Nigeria economy. You just need to pay attention. Right now, they have told all the banks in Nigeria, not just banks. They've also told all those platforms that some of you do send money. You know, all different platforms you are sending money from and all that. A lot of you will send money to Nigeria. Well, I do send money, and I don't care about the pound sterling being given to anybody in Nigeria. There's no point. It's so easy from here in the UK, right? Once I call my agent and I give my agent the account I want the money sent to, right? The agent will tell me, this is how much it's going to be with your commission and all that, which works well for me, right? And then whoever I'm giving any money to in Nigeria, they will have it in their bank account. Stressless. If the exchange rate is 2,000 Naira to £1 sterling, the same way you are seeing it everywhere, right? It's 2,000 Naira to £1 sterling, they will give it to me. So under Emefiole, they developed an app and they called it e-Naira. Sorry, e-Naira. So I changed the name to e-Naira because by then they've depleted all of the reserves, the entire space. They've dipped their hands in the foreign reserve of Nigeria. They've abandoned the crude oil to their friends who were stealing them for years. So they were now targeting all of us in diaspora because they were hearing, how can Nigerians be sending up to $36 billion to Nigeria every year? And central bank can only boast of a little fraction of it through the banks. How did that happen? How can we, this is what they were thinking, how can we control that market to save Nigeria Naira? How can we warehouse that dollars, all of that forex, and we can give their family members here Naira so that we can take all those dollars. So they designed an app. They can't celebrate time. By the time that e-Naira become active, Nigeria Naira is going to come back alive. I'm just reminding you all of their lies that some of you probably have forgotten. And what do you call him? Cardio is replaying the card. Oduduwa Emefiole. Unfortunately, some said, no, my ego, don't ever say Oduduwa. I mean, listen, Baba, calm down, Jare. You cannot even take, you don't even have to take it. But since it's kind of gel, he's a Yoruba boy or a Yoruba man. Since we all agreed that it is the worst of us. The worst of us are those who are representing the best of us. Here is one of the worst from Yoruba land. Kolu is the worst of the worst, and he attracts his likes, criminally minded, obtuse, ineffective people. So he's a Yoruba. So yeah, he's one of the worst of us. We are not proud of him. Just the same way you're not proud of Kolu. Look at all the criminals you can see around Kolu today. There are Yorubas, plenty. There are actually plenty. So when they were saying Yoruba Lokon, now the people they were talking about be that, not you, not me. So if they call a mode to do a Mefiole, about my manage, you they get me? Emefiole can't they try to bribe us? Emefiole was even promising, he actually was promising us money. If I send 100 pounds to Nigeria, Emefiole will give me equivalent of 5 pounds, which is what do you call it? Which is 20. How much is that? Huh? Isn't that like 20% of it? No, you shall give me 5% of what the money I have sent, right? I think it's 1% or I don't know. So Emefiole promised us then in diaspora, all we had to do was for all of us to go and download Naira. So they wanted to use us in diaspora to cover their fraud. They wanted us to subsidize their fraud. If that had worked, right, Emefiole would be like hero today. If all of us, even if half of us in the diaspora downloaded that Naira that time, you would have saved Emefiole, Bokwari, and all the rogues of what they did to Nigeria. But maybe they will actually steal the money as well. Because Emefiole was printing Naira, and every dollar available, they will use the Naira to change it to that dollar, move it out of Nigeria. So I was one of those who told people, don't try it. Download the Naira. Don't go and download nonsense. Yes, I did it. I was one of those who told people. Because it didn't take time for people to begin to see that it was all lies too. Emefiole wanted to be changing our money at the rate he and the rest of Bokwari's gang decide or determined. They change money, the value of Naira, which is worthless, says 700 Naira. Emefiole was offering us in diaspora, he was offering us 450 Naira official rate. I told people, don't try it to Inirani. So some of them blame us. Here you get. For those who get sense. So that is what Kadio Oduduwa Emefiole is now trying. And if you hold on for corner and get shook my microphone for his mouth, for his mouth, and so yeah, explain it, explain it. You go to talk around, you know. So that's what they are also planning. They are telling everybody who has a money app business in Nigeria or abroad, all of them where they UK, we get app that people downloaded to transfer money and all of that stuff. What they are now telling them is that if you have dollars in your domiciliary account, very soon, you know, go get the dollars again. Naira loma son fun. Naira equivalent, according to Oduduwa Emefiole Kadio's exchange rates. You go on collect your dollar, you go say no, now only Naira if you collect. You see all those apps, when you send Naira, I mean, also when you send dollars, or you send pounds, or you send any money through them, they will tell you automatically, we are sorry, we cannot give the recipients dollars. These were platforms that used to pay out in dollars, like Western Union, like MoneyGram, like some of these kind of money transfer platforms, okay? This Kadio's policy, in a way to trap and see how many dollars they can trap from everywhere. Because Nigeria no get money again. As the money they come, then they loot them. It's not even enough to invest in anything. That is why they will say something now, they will say something else tomorrow. They keep saying things, but you are asking them, please just do one so that we can see one. Even if you know do and well, just start something. For the past 9 months, Tifnumbu's government, they have never started anything major. But they have expended over 8 trillion naira. In 9 months, they've blown 8 trillion naira. Borrowed money. So now they are targeting us and targeting everybody in diaspora again. But they are not using Naira. But I say that one don't pack up. Sure you get. They are not using that in Naira anymore. That didn't work. So they are now like haggling, no, not even haggling. They are hustling all the money platforms, banks, everywhere. Okay, targeting a lot of you that they said were demanding for dollars here and there. They know that they've never really given you any dollars per se. Okay, but to use you as the excuse why Naira crashed, now they have put it out there that if you send any money to your family members through any of those apps, right? About your tobacco phone, and Naira, they go back give them. Yes. Just so you know, it is a policy. But what they don't know is that they are making all their the Mumu listeners or the Agbadorians to believe that now some people don't want this thing to work, not knowing that these guys are so empty and the corruption that they are swimming in is so huge to the point that a lot of them feels like they will never be held responsible. So with that, there is no caution, there's nothing. So when they tell you they want to do this policy and all of that, and you say, oh, thank God, oh, Naira has gained 200 Naira. Pound sterling is no longer 1,900 Naira. A pound sterling in Nigeria Naira is now 1,400 Naira. Omo, that's over 400 Naira changes. Naira is coming back. Naira,